Hello guys, welcome to editorial part like video short brief solution for the first problem that came in the contest last night. So what the problem says basically, no need to read this long story, just problem starts from here. What basically it says that you have been given an array A and you have to make minimum number of moves to remove the least and the maximum elements from this array. So one thought that immediately comes to our mind is that what if array elements like 1 5 is given, and if we have, so we can say like that we have three options here, like 1 5 4 3 2 is given. So what if the first two elements are given in the left side only? Okay, the second thing is that what if the first element and the last element is given at last, like the least element and the greatest element. And third option is that what if both the elements are given in the middle. And fourth option is that what if all the elements which are greater and smaller are given in the last. So we have four possibilities here. So now I'll explain you how to deal with this problem. Let's look at the constraints first. So the t value is till 100 and n value is also till 100. So we don't need to worry here about the time complexity, because it can go up till n cube also, but we don't need that much of time for the solving of this problem. So let's look at the test cases. Yeah, here you see 1 5 4 3 2, and from the left if we see, the least element is 1 and the greatest element in the array is 5. So we have got our answer as 2, because we remove only two elements, because we have to remove the least and the maximum element of the array. Similarly in this, if you can see 3 4 2 1, the maximum element is 4 and least element is 1, so we need to remove three elements so that the least and maximum can be removed. So how to approach this type of problem? Like I'll tell you how to approach. Let's go to the code base. So first what we have to do is that first we have to take an input. uh, what is the input? The input that we have to take is n, like you can see in the question. The input that we have to take is n, and also we have 5 test cases, t number of test cases. So we have included that in our while t minus minus and in our main function. So after this what we can do, we can just create an array for the input as well, and we can increase the size of the array till 10 to be safe, to be on the safer side, because we don't want runtime error in our solution, means we don't want to go out of bounds. So for safety we just take n plus 10. Now now we can take a vector as well. Okay, and first of all, what is our job? First of all, our job is to just take the input of the elements of the array. Now after taking the inputs of the elements of the array, so what we can do here, after taking the inputs, what we have, so we have taken the inputs of the array, and then what we can do is that we can just first, one thing more we can do is that we can fix the minimum value to be int max, because we have to compare it also. Okay, so we are fixing the mn value to int max and the mx value to int min. So now after inputting the value of the array, what we can do, we can check whether our array, we can check that whether, wait, we can do like this, that mn equal to min of mn comma a of I. So what we are doing basically, we are just finding the minimum element in the array using this line, and what we are doing here, mx comma ai, we are just finding the maximum element of the array using this line. Why we used int min and int max? We use this so that we could compare between the elements. Like suppose we are running a loop and I is 0, and we have inputted our first element, so int mn is int max, so no number can be greater than int max. So that's why we have taken a of I, okay, and then in the maximum we have taken mx a of I, okay. So now what we are doing here, that now we have our, suppose our array here is 1 5 4 3 and 2, okay. So after this whole step, our array will have like these elements only. So now what our job is to just run a for loop like this, and whatever vector we have declared, so in this vector we will store the indexes. So in that vector we will store the indexes, and now let us check in this loop that whether our array a of I is equal to mn. If it is equal to the minimum value, suppose in this array the minimum value is 1, so if it is equal to the minimum value 1, what we can do, that push back we can just push back the index of the element. Why we are doing I plus 1? We are doing I plus 1 because we have set the array to 0 based indexing. We have not set the array to 1 based indexing. That's why we are doing plus 1. Now if it is possible, otherwise we can do one more thing, that if a of I is equal to max, then also we will do pushback of I plus 1, okay. So after this step, like after this step, what happens, after this whole step, what happens, we had an array, okay, and we found min and max of that array, and then we compared the elements and then stored the indexes. So our v becomes vector v become 1 and 1 and 2, because we are storing the indexes in the vector v. Now just now what we have to do is that we will declare a result variable, and in this variable what we have to do, that we have to find the minimum number of moves required, okay. So after this we have to sort the vector as well. Now people will ask, why to sort the vector? See, suppose, let me write once, then I'll explain. So why we are sorting the vector? So suppose in this array I had 1 5 4 3 2. What if I had like this 5 4 3 2 1? Then it will create a difficulty for me in solving the problem, because the smallest element has the largest index. That's why I am sorting the vector, so that I get the index in a sorted manner, and then I could proceed with my forward technique. So now what we will do, that we will just take the minimum of the first value, which is 2, second value in the index, which is 2, v of 1, and then what we will do, we will subtract the first value, which is, we will subtract the first value, which is 1, okay, and it is and the vector and the value of n is 5. Suppose the value of n is 5, then we are subtracting the first element. Like, let me show you. Like, we have these things, okay? So to obtain here, what will be the answer? Here the answer will be 2. So how to obtain 2? We will obtain 2 by just subtracting the first element from the value of n. Here value of n is 5, okay? Subtracting the first element from the value of n and then adding 1 to it, because we have a zero based indexing here, okay? So now we will take the minimum of this value and the index at position second. So that's what I was doing here. We are just taking the minimum of this value and the value which we have taken the difference. Now what more we have to store? Like, first what we did, we took the difference of the first value in the indexing and the second value, we took the minimum of that. Now same thing what we have to do here, that now what we have to do is that we have to just take the we have to just take the difference of the second value and add, we have to take the difference of the second value here, and we have to just add to the first vector, first value of the vector, and plus 1, because we had a zero based indexing, okay? So now we can just print our result. Let's see what it comes. Okay, so ai equal to max. Wait, a should be mx. Hmm, oh, no error. Line number 162. Yeah, so as you can see that we got our desired output, and this is the end of the question basically. Just what we have to do is that we have to take the prefix of the array, and we have to take the suffix of the array and just subtract it and get the desired value of minimum number of moves that is required for the removal of least and highest element. So that's it from my side, and thank you for attending this. Thank you.